Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle, and today we are drawing inspiration from a quote. Marlene has such beautiful quotes, and she has so many quotes. So in the latest release that she had in April I think, she released the luxury paper element quotes, and they are just beautiful. But she also has her sticky quote book, which is also amazing, full to the brim with beautiful quotes. And you can really get inspired by just flipping through. If you don't know what to do for that day, you can just flip through them and have a look, and eventually you will find something. I can almost guarantee you that you will find something that you love. So today I found this quote, and it said, she just wanted to be alone with her art supplies. And that quote is so true for me. I love being in my little office. I love making art. I love being around my things. You might call me a little weird, but I love just looking at my things and enjoying them just for what they are. So maybe I'm a little weird. Let me know if you are a weirdo too. Maybe you enjoy just looking at your things as well. I would love to know that I'm not alone. But even if I'm alone, that's okay too. Okay, so I grabbed out that girl from the Paper Elements book, the giant Paper Elements book, and I also used the Artist's Diary stamp set, and I stamped out a couple of paint brushes and paint tubes and pencils, and I colored those in with my alcohol markers and pencils, and so I have them at the ready. I started off using beautiful bright colors. I used Happy, Cheesy, Ballet, and Mermaid. And I love this color combination. This color combination is sort of the colors that are in your printer. So the cyan, magenta, and yellow. I don't know. But they are, to me, they are primary colors, but just prettier than your red, blue, and yellow, your normal red, blue, and yellow. So I've gone in and I just made really brush strokey paint blobs, just adding a little paint onto my page and then brushing it until it's spread out. In all three of those colors, and then I've gone in and done some reductive stenciling using this floral border stencil from Marlene. All the different colors that I've got on the page and some whites. I'm not introducing any more colors to this page. I love these colors together. Where they blend, they make purple and green and orange as well. So there's actually quite a lot of color on here. So I wasn't going to add more colors. I am, however, adding mark making in a different way this time. Normally I would use stamps, but today I felt a little bit like playing with my paint pens. So I'm again using the same colors, and I made some crosses and circles. And then I found this very interesting paint tool, I think. That's what you could call it. I think they use it for graffiti or something like that. It's pink and it's got this round tip, and it makes these beautiful circles when you press it down. I only have the pink one, but I'm really, really tempted to get them in other colors as well, because I just love those dots. They are so fun. They make me so happy. So in the areas where I've done my mark making, I've gone in with that weird paint thing, and now I'm also going in with some colored stamping. I've got different colored inks and just different stamp sets. That kind of lattice looking stamp that I used, she's got that same pattern in her face somewhere, and that's why I chose that one. And then I love script, so I used script, And she's also got some stars somewhere on her body, and that's why I used the stars. So I'm kind of duplicating what is on her to try and just keep keep everything cohesive, so it's not too busy and messy. Going to quickly draw in her hair. It was a bit of a struggle for me to get the shape of the face and the hair right. I did get there in the end, thankfully, but it was not easy. I can draw a face, but I do struggle with doing bodies, and especially because this one is a little bit of an odd angle. I wasn't quite sure where to go with the shoulders, and I also didn't want to make her shoulders too wide. So I kind of fiddled around with it. At one stage, I decided, okay, now I'm just going to leave it for now, and then later on, I'll work on it again. That will happen soon enough. I think here I decided to draw in a bit of a shoulder, and it just, I don't know, it didn't look right. And so it was, I think, around here where I decided, okay, let me work on something else, and then later on I will come back and work on that when I know what to do. I don't know why I did white all over her shoulder. I think maybe some of the color was peeking through too much. So I covered it with white, and then I went back in with sand. You would have also noticed I went over the whole face and neck area with that same sand color, and that is just to kind of blend the colors that I've painted and that Marlene's painted and printed, just to blend them together. I'm curling up my little flowers. I grabbed out a couple of flowers from the Paper Elements book as well, because I wanted to add some dimension to this page. And I am curling up the petals slightly, just so they stand up. And I'm going to glue in all of my little artsy bits. I did pause the video for a second here as well, just to find some more paper elements that I thought could work, and I didn't want to bore you with me flipping through the book 1,000 times to find one little element. There we go. That was the pause. I found some foliage for the hair, found a couple of hearts that I'll stick onto her chest a little bit later, and I found some mandala-y looking bits as well. That was actually a heart, which I cut in half for a different project, and now I'm cutting it even more. Same with this half mandala. I've just cut out the flower. I thought that it tied in really well with the red flowers that were already in her hair. So now I am going to extend the beautiful little flowers that Marlene has already, and also the mark making, just to make her blend in, so it looks like I did not extend her. It looks like she was supposed to be like that from the beginning. So I added some red flowers, I added the mark making, I went over the stars that were there, and I added some more stars, and the stars that were on her body was white with a black border, so I'm just adding some white into those stamped images. And really this part is one that I can get really, really lost in, because when you have a closer look at Marlene's images, there are so many tiny little things that you can see and spot, and that you can incorporate into your own artwork. So it's a really fun bit. I'm adding paint pens here and there with color, and here and there with black. I will eventually outline the whole girl and all of or some of the flowers. But first, a little bit of neons to brighten up those flowers. I like adding neons just using my fingers. I feel like I get a better coverage with that. I also really like painting with my fingers, because I feel a little bit more connected to the page than if I had to just use a paintbrush. But there's nothing wrong with using a paintbrush. Use what you have and just enjoy the process. Now I'm just going to start and outline all of the bits. I'm darkening up all of the black bits. I always say this, whenever something is printed, it's not printed in a true black, and I like to darken up those black areas. And I'm also brightening her eyes just by going in with some coloring and pencils. And just a lot of faffing around, really, to make everything pull together. I covered up some of Marlene's mark making, so I'm just drawing that in with blue again and outlining all the hair and the bits and bobs. And I'm giving her a heart. I do like adding little hearts on all my figures. I feel like it just makes them a little bit more human. Yeah, I like it. Do you add hearts to your figures? I'd love to know if you also add hearts or not. Are you happy for them to not have a heart outside of their bodies? Now I'm going in with my Stabilo All pencil. I'm just doing a little bit of a shadow around them. So putting the pencil down, and then I am water activating those lines just to draw some of the shadowy bits out. This will help her pop off the background and make her stand out a little bit more. And I'm going to start adding some white highlights as well. White highlights is magic. If you sometimes feel like your page is dull or your figures are dull, I can highly recommend adding white highlights because it will just liven things up again. I'm also going in with some punk paint and doing some extra shadowing and some extra details in her hair. And again with the highlights. Now I'm going in with Marlene's special effects paints or glues. This is glitter glue. Love adding glitter glue to my pages. I've been doing it an awful lot lately, and I just spilled out a whole big blob, which I managed to put back in the tube, thank goodness. I love it when I tilt my page and I can see that glistening effect from the glitters. Makes my heart really happy. I'm going to put down my quote. She just wanted to be alone with her art supplies. And yes, I do want to be alone with my art supplies. I think I was also looking for another quote here, but I couldn't find something. And I also felt like this page needed a border. I don't know why, but I did feel like I needed to add a border. So I grabbed the the stamp set from Marlene, and it says, "Art is an escape from the everyday reality." And I'm going to use that to create a little border around my page. I did stamp with the block first, but then it got a little bit tricky around the edges there. So I'm just using my hands. Luckily, they are silicone, so they do stick to the fingers a little bit. And I thought that was a nice way to add more text to my page. I do love text on my page, and to double it up as a border. I'm going to draw a little scribbly border around the edges, and I think that's about it for this page. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Please leave me a comment. Please subscribe to my channel if you are new here. I've got lots of bright and colorful things coming up and a whole lot that's already on. Go ahead and have a look at some of my other work. And I hope you get inspired by what you see here. Thank you so much, and I will chat to you again very soon. Okay, bye.